let's write a program for implementing all operations on the linked queue. These are standard C library includes stdio.h for standard input-output functions like printf and scanf, and stdlib.h for malloc and free. Define a structure. This defines a structure node which contains an integer data and a pointer to the next node. Declare global pointers for the front and rear. Front and rear are pointers to the front and rear of the queue respectively. Here front points to the first element in the queue, wherein rear points to the last element in the queue. Let's write the main function of this program. The main function is the entry point of the program. It returns void, indicating that it does not return any value. Int choice. This variable is used to store the user's choice for the menu. This loop continues until the user chooses to exit, that is, until the user enters 4. The printf statement displays the menu options to the user. This statement reads the user choice from the standard input, that is keyboard, and stores it in the choice variable. The switch statement is used to perform different actions based on the user's choice. Case 1. If user chooses 1, the insert function is called to insert an element in the queue. Case 2. If user chooses case 2, the delete function is called to delete an element from the queue. Case 3. If user chooses case 3, the display function is called to display the elements of the queue. Case 4. If user chooses case 4, the exit function is called to exit the program. Default. If a user enters a choice other than 1, 2, 3, or 4, an error message is displayed and the user is prompted to enter a valid choice. After performing the selected operation, the menu is displayed again and user is prompted to enter their choice. This process continues until the user chooses to exit the program. This is the function definition for inserting an element in the queue. This declares a pointer to a structure of type node. This declares a variable item to hold the value of the new node. This line allocates a memory for the new node using the function malloc. This line checks if memory allocation was successful. If PTR is null, it means memory allocation failed, and the function displays overflow and returns. This line asks the user for the value of the new node and assigns it to the data field of the new node. This line checks if the queue is empty or not. If the queue is empty, that is front is equal to null, the new node becomes the first and last node of the queue. If the queue is not empty, the new node is added after the rear node, and rear node is updated to point to the new node. This ensures that the next pointer of the newly inserted node points to null, indicating the end of the queue. Now let's write the code for the deletion function. This is the function definition for deleting an element from the queue. This declares a pointer ptr to a structure of type node. This line checks if the queue is empty. If front is null, it means the queue is empty and the function displays underflow and returns. This assigns the front pointer to ptr. This line moves the front to the next node in the queue, effectively removing the first node. This function frees the memory allocated for the node pointed to a ptr, effectively deleting it. Now let's write the code for the display function. This is the function definition for displaying the elements of the queue. This declares a pointer ptr to a structure of type node, and this sets the ptr to point to the front of the queue. This checks if the queue is empty. If front is null, it means the queue is empty and the function prints empty queue. Else if the queue is not empty, it prints printing values and then proceeds to print the data of each node in the queue. This iterates through the queue using ptr. For each node, it prints the value of the data and moves the ptr to the next node in the queue. So this program presents a menu-driven approach for inserting elements into queue, deleting elements from queue, and displaying the elements of the queue. Let's see the output of this program. After compiling the code, a menu will be displayed out of which we have to choose one option. First, I will choose option 1 to insert the element in the queue. It will ask us to enter the value, where I am going to insert 10. Again, it will prompt you to enter the choice. I will go with once again for option 1 to insert the value 20. And I will repeat the same option for to insert 30. Now I will go with the option 2. The program will call the delete function and ask you to enter the value to delete from the queue. Here I am choosing 20 to delete. Now we will go with the third option, that is to display the queue values. It will display the values. Now choose 4 to exit the program.